Well, hi folks, just give you a quick look round, go up to the plot a bit later on, show you how things are getting on in here, and I'll dump one of these potatoes out again, see how many spuds we've got. So we'll just start off in the little polytunnel, just put my thing down. Peppers are coming on quite well now, in the lovely heat we've been having, so I can't complain about them. Even got a few little flowers on those, these are the little snap ones. So things are looking pretty good with the peppers. I thought they'd be quite slow actually because I planted them a bit late. World's most pathetic looking cucumber, but it is growing a little bit, so I might get some eventually. It's never too late, you always get something. And the tomatoes doing well, absolutely loaded in flowers now, little hanging basket ones, getting nice and bushy. So when the tomatoes do eventually come, there should be absolutely loads, judging by the amount of flowers. Taking some water in though, these, because with that rough compost it just sort of drains out. Got my first little tomato on there, as you can see. Don't think there's any on any of the others, but plenty of time. So we'll get on and we'll let's have a look which potato we're going to take out. I'll take this one out next to the door. Foliage is starting to die back, so we'll get that out and see what we've got. So another pot of spuds. All the foliage is starting to die down a bit. There's still plenty of lumps and bumps in it, so it feels like there's a few. Again, they're all at the bottom. Can I see that? Yeah. Looking pretty canny. Definitely. Again, just a 10-litre pot. Not quite full to the top, so probably 8 litres. One seed potato. Plenty of spuds in. Again, there's a seed potato. That one's not very big, so just a bog standard seed potato. There seem to be some cracking potatoes in this one. Lots and lots. Shit this about. They all seem to be near the bottom though for some reason, which is a bit strange. Just crack this up and see if there's any more in here. A few more. Big one lurking there. So yet again, cracking crop. Not maybe quite as much as the last one, or the first one I did, but definitely I would say £1.5 pounds there, which isn't too bad for one little seed potato in a little pot. So that's the spuds out. We'll just nip up to the plot now, show you what's been going on up there and what's progressing. Well, hi folks, up at the plot now, so I'll just give you a look round, show you how things are going. Peas are doing amazingly well this year, because we've had some decent weather in the last few days. It's been about 25 degrees today, so it's been very, very warm. Not watered them at all, but I would say they're getting up to 3 foot tall now, first green shaft. And as you can see, absolutely covered in flowers, so I should get a really good crop with those. But then again, they always are a very reliable cropper, so I'm really pleased with those. Some of the courgettes are planted outside. There's one there and one over there, doing all right. Not quite as big as the one inside yet, but nonetheless doing all right. And these are this year's banana shallots. These are the ones called Elista, the ones I've grown instead of the Zebrun. Oh, they're looking really good now, looking really strong and healthy. I've grown them in singles and in clumps, just depending on how they came in the modules, really, how I sowed the seed. But no, I've no fault with those at all whatsoever. So if they store as well as the Zebrun, then I'll probably continue to grow those. Now the carrots, looking pretty good now. Getting a bit of foliage on. Again, I've not watered any of these. Just keep the roots sort of trained down into the moist sand at the bottom. Because if you do water them, just put a little sprinkle on. It tends to keep the roots up into the top stuff. And then you just end up getting fanged ones. So just let them search for their own water and they should be okay. Onions looking really good. I've had a really good weeding session. There's some red ones there, some late crop ones, and then we've got some earlier cropping ones. And as you can see, they're starting to bulb up already. And it's only a day after the longest day, which is the time when they generally start to bulb up. So that's pretty good, because I should get some cropping, some harvesting, or I would say within 4 weeks at that size. So sort of middle of July should be able to take some early ones, so that's always good. Now the saga of the garlic, as you can see, I don't know whether you can see, the rust is spreading slowly. Some on there, probably a bit close. It's not obliterated it yet, but another few weeks and it probably will do. So anyway, I've ordered some neem oil, which is like an organic kind of pressed oil from some kind of tree, and it's supposed to have antifungal properties. So I've bought myself a sprayer and ordered some neem oil, so we'll give them a good old spray with some of this neem oil, see what happens to him. Can't do him any harm, it's not harmless at all, not harmful at all, so it might work, it might not. If not, then nothing lost. So yeah, I'm gonna have to try and get on top of it, but like I said, if I can't, then it's not the end of the world. I'm doing a bit more tidying up. This is the junk area where I used to grow my potatoes, so I've just gravelled that again. I might be considering getting a few fruit bushes and things next year, maybe a few fruit trees, apples, some dwarf ones, maybe cherry, something like that. And because I've got it gravelled and I've got a weed membrane underneath, all I need to do is just dig down to the weed membrane, chop a hole in and plant it, and it should keep it all nice and weed free. But I just want it like that now, just so it's a bit tidier. So all looking pretty good. Lettuce have been fantastic. I've been taking a few, I'll be taking 2 or 3 tonight. It's been absolutely wonderful. What have we got? We've got the little gem as normal, multigrain, record, and some other ones I can't remember. This is a new variety to me. This is called record, and if I just show you the leaves, you probably can't see because the sun's not on them. They're actually a little bit fleshy, a bit like an iceberg, whereas these ones are just like butterhead lettuces, or very soft and no sort of moisture to them. Whereas these, if you look, you may not be able to see, they have got a bit of texture to them, a bit of moisture to them. So like I say, they're a cross between a crinkly lettuce and an iceberg texture, so pretty good. Never grown those before, and they are called, if I look at the label, record. Those not as vigorous as the rest, but it doesn't matter, still a decent size, and they only keep growing, so pretty chuffed with the lettuces this year. Potatoes are absolutely flying along now. I've been, this hot weather, I've been watering them once every 2 days. Been putting a half a 7 litre watering can on in between 2 pots every 2 days, so basically 3/4 of a gallon per plant per pot every 2 days. And they look like they're growing really well. Got some flowers on the Sapo blue mirrors, sorry, not blue mirrors, blue Danube. So I could probably take those off, put more energy into the actual potato, but so far so good. No blight, no pests, looking pretty good. Second lot of lettuces have almost caught up with the first ones. They haven't half shot on, so we'll have a successional crop of those. I've sowed my 3rd lot a week or 2 ago, so as soon as the first lot are finished, we'll start eating these, and then I'll plant the 3rd lot out, and then I'll sow a 4th lot. Now this is apparently a dwarf pea, but it's 4 feet tall. Absolutely covered in flowers, but it's not exactly dwarf, so whether it's something mispacketed, I don't know. And also in amongst it, we've got this random thing, look, purple. The plants look exactly the same, but these have got purple flowers on. So unless that's maybe a purple podded pea that's got in there by mistake, I've never seen that before. Looks like a sweet pea, but it's not a sweet pea because it's just got normal pea leaves, the same as the rest. So that is a mystery to me. So I've got the spring onions. Oh, right, nearly fell over. The sun's going down a bit. Been taking these now. Got a nice size. Decent enough size now. I've still got about 16 bunches of those left, and then the second lot coming on, and I've got the 3rd lot already sowed in the greenhouse at home, ready for another continuous crop. Now into the polytunnel. Courgette's picked up a bit, giving it plenty of water. It's got the first little courgette on there, so it didn't look too bad. That's in the newly dug bed. Another cucumber in there. Not doing too well, like the one in the polytunnel at home, but there's plenty of time yet. no big deal. Cobra Beans. Not grown these for years because I've not had the polytunnel roof on, but they're absolutely flying up now. We've got to the top of the canes, and as you can see, I'm now training along these strings, which will get to the top of the polytunnel. So then basically there'll be beans all up here, and then they'll start dropping beans down that'll hang down like bunches of grapes, which makes it so much easier to harvest. But they're always a prolific cropper. 6 plants, more than enough. Probably end up getting about 30-40 pounds of beans off that, believe it or not. So we had a bit of a fire last night, a longest day fire over there. Might be a bit of wreckage from that. What we did find on this red campion last night when it was going dark, I found there were loads of bumblebee hawk moths. Not bumblebee, oh, what they called? Hummingbird hawk moths, sorry. Massive orange things just hovering like God, I've forgotten again. You know what I mean anyway. I don't think they're particularly rare, but they're not the sort of thing you see very often up here. So that was quite interesting. So my flowers are all out now. I'm really loving this little bit here, especially that white foxglove. These are all just self-seeded. They've just come. I've not bothered planting any of those. Likewise the daisies and stuff. And then there's my rose there, my little wild rose that's come out. Tried to train it over my rose arch. Looking pretty good. Some perennials in here and a lot of annuals that are not flowering yet. So I don't know what's going to come up in there. It could be absolutely anything, but it'll be good to look at when it comes up. Yeah, that's the remains of the fire. Only a little one, quite restrained last night. 3 of us came up on our push bikes, combined age of about 150, drove back 3 sheets to the wind and fell off, nearly all of us, over edges and things. So it was a good laugh anyway. Rhubarb's done really well this year. I think it's starting to go over a bit now. I took about £15 the other night, but as you can see, the colour is just so dark red and it's so sweet. Pink champagne's the variety, and you just can't get sweeter. Don't even have to put sugar with it when you're making stuff. And the gooseberries, I've never had gooseberries as big in my life. Whether it's focusing on there, I can't really show you anything to scale, but there's loads of them and they're still rock hard, so hopefully they should still keep growing, getting bigger and bigger as this ripen up. So finally into the other bit. I'll show you. I've been adding to the shrubbery. Show you that last. There we go. This is just where I planted all the extra bits, like some spare leeks there, spare shallots, all a lot close together. I'm just using every little bit of spare space I've got instead of just throwing them away. Cauliflower's looking good still. Probably can't see because of this thingy on it. Again, no cabbage whites or anything, no caterpillars, so that's good. Cabbages are just starting to heart up now. These are the little sweetheart cabbages, just a basic variety called Greyhound. And these are the onions that I did in the square yard gardening bit. There's about 90 onions in a square yard there, and some of them are starting to bulb up, only little, but I'm only expecting to get little ones. That's the reason I did it, just to see what sort of yield you can get and to get some smaller onions really. Leeks have all taken now. As you can see, they're all standing up nice and tall, even though one's been filled in there. There's a big dint because we've had a pheasant in again. There's a pheasant with about 20 little babies running about in the field, so it's probably that. So anyway, you can't beat nature. Right then, finally onto my shrubbery. I've planted a bit more stuff. That's one of those false hollies, and I've found loads of these ferns growing in between my decking, believe it or not, around my main plot. You think, oh, they won't grow in direct sun, but that's where they were growing, in direct sunlight. So what I've done, I've dug all those up. They weren't really growing into the soil, they were just growing in on top of the weed membrane. So I've just sort of peeled them all off, and I've dug some decent holes, added some decent compost, and planted a load of those. So they're perennial, they'll come up every single year. Some big ones, little ones. Just sort of filled it up a bit. Should be good. Got a couple of hostas, and then I filled this whiskey barrel up. I put another one of those false hollies in. I'm just waiting for some ivies to come, and I'm going to put about 4 ivies in there, so it all trails about. But no, I'm pretty pleased with this bit. Should look quite good when it starts to mature. So anyway folks, that's about it, I think. What we at now? 22nd of June, day after the longest day. Weather's absolutely gorgeous, supposed to be red hot tomorrow. So that's about it folks. See you later.